right, welcome to today's Board of Health meeting for Monday, January 10th, 2022. Chairperson LeBlanc is absent today. And in keeping with an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, signed into law by Governor Baker on June 16th, 2021, this meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by board commission members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count toward quorum. The meeting will be broadcast live and recorded on ECAT. To use Zoom, you will need to use the link on the agenda or download the Zoom application at www.zoom.us and create an account or use one of the call-in numbers listed on your agenda. You will need the webinar ID to join by phone only. While conducting meetings remotely, we will endeavor to keep meeting operations as close to our standard procedures as possible. However, use of this platform will necessitate some additional meeting protocols. While the board members and applicants will be on video and audio, public participants will join the webinar as attendee, meaning they are muted and with no video feed from them. During the public testimony portion of the meeting, members of the public can be recognized by using the raise hand function found under participants from Zoom, or make a request with the Q&A function. If you are joining only by phone, you can press *9 to raise your hand. If an applicant wishes to display materials, please make the request of the chair and the email materials to board staff for sharing on screen. When starting testimony, please state your name and address for the record. And the first item on today's agenda is approving the minutes from our last meeting on December 13th.
Motion to accept the minutes is read.
Seconded. All those in favor, Zayas, yes.
Mills, yes.
Excellent. And then the second item on our agenda are variances. The first being 48 to 50 Turnpike Street, and it is requesting variance approvals from section 310, CMR 15.405 to allow a wetland setback reduction and a water table separation reduction concurrently. Abutters have been notified.
So George Collins is joining us. I've just moved him into the room and he can present his application.
Good evening. For the record, George Collins from Collins Civil Engineering Group. I'm representing Patrick Gillis. He's the owner of 5052 Turnpike Street. I'm not sure would you like me to share my screen, Kristen?
I think you can do that, and you are more than welcome to try.
Okay, let's see here. Where are we here? Share screen. Let's see, which one am I doing here? Okay, can you guys see that?
Yes. You're good.
Okay, so just something to be aware of is the property to the south, number 52. You can see there's this retaining wall here. That's a soil absorption system next door. We requested a variance through the Board of Health last year for this project for basically the exact same reasons. There's not a whole lot of room on either one of these properties. The variance that we requested next door was different. Basically, we requested 2 local upgrade approvals concurrently, which are not allowed through those particular local upgrade approvals are allowed concurrently unless we go through a formal variance process and notify abutters. So it's similar, it's the same but different. It's 2 different the parameters that we're requesting are different, but it's for the exact same reasons. Basically, we lack site geometry, extremely high water table. So basically this property is a 6-bedroom duplex, and and the wetland line is in this location. The 50-foot buffer is the orange, the pink is the 100-foot buffer. So we have absolutely no options as far as where to go with the system. So we went in the backyard, similar to number 52 Turnpike. We have very high water table, 2-foot water table on the property. We collected soil samples and the lab results came back really good. We ended up getting into a sand with greater than 85% sand from the soil results. That requires a 5-foot water table separation. So with a 5-foot water table separation and a 2-foot groundwater, it results in approximately a 5.5-foot mound. So standard procedure that we usually do is I request a lot of these are local upgrade approval requests to lower the system by 1 foot. Because we're less than 50 feet to the wetland, we also have to request a local upgrade approval to be less than 50 feet to the wetland. So what we're requesting this evening is a reduction to the setback to the wetland, less than 50 feet, which is what's required by code. And then we're also requesting to lower the system by 1 foot at the same time. We're not supposed to do those concurrently unless we go through some sort of variance processes, which is what we're requesting here. So and if you look, to make this work now, in addition to the like a 3.5-foot retaining wall, I also have proposed grading around beyond the retaining wall. So if we raise the system up a whole nother foot, we're gonna be basically pushing this grading right up to or into the wetlands. If you look right here, this is a swale. I'm trying to make sure that no water gets trapped between the house and the septic system. So right here is a swale that will direct the natural surface water flows in this direction. So basically, due to the exorbitant change in elevation, the fact that it's a 6-bedroom house, it's 10 pounds of what in a 5-pound bag. And I thought that requesting a variance in these 2 local upgrade requests concurrently made sense with this particular project. Obviously, we try to avoid formal variances, but I just thought, similar to the site to the south at number 52, we had extreme circumstances that warranted requesting the variance. The other thing to note is we are not in a water protection district. Obviously the water table separation requirements are primarily the primary intent is to protect drinking water supplies or drinking water supplies, but we are not in this is not in a zone 2 water protection district. So that being said, I think it's a little bit less of an environmental concern because we're not in a water protection district. The other thing I do on all of my projects is I do have a 2-compartment tank specified, which is above and beyond code. Actually, I take that back. This is a 2-family house, so it is required. So, but just in general, it's just a very difficult site, and the change in topography is excessive, and I felt it was warranted to apply for a variance, lowering the system by 1 foot. And one other note, I am going before conservation this evening. I have a 6:30 meeting this evening. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions anybody may have.
So what is the wetland buffer zone? How far pushed back is it?
The system is 19 feet off of the wetland. So we're requesting a reduction from the required 50 to 19 feet and a water table separation reduction from 5 feet to 4 feet concurrently, which is not allowed under normal local upgrade approval requests, but can be approved through a variance process like what we're doing right now. And the other thing is the abutters have been notified. Proof of notification has been posted on Permitize.
I don't have any other questions. Chris, I don't know if you do.
No, that's a tough system.
It's like $65,000 system the way it is. It's insane.
That's actually cheaper than what I thought it would be. I don't have a problem granting the variance. Conservation would be my concern, so I'm fine with making a motion to grant the variance. And
Second.
and that motion is, the variance is going to be for the reduction in the foot and the wetland proximity,
Yeah, from 50 to 19.
which, is that us or is that Concom?
That's state code.
Right, but from an enforcement, like from who would be the one that grants that variance? Is it us or would that be Concom?
That's you. That's yeah.
Okay, so
And honestly, me going into the meeting tonight with conservation saying that I have approval, that's probably the appropriate sequence of events.
yep, I'd like to make a motion to approve the variance for the wetland reduction as well as the reduction by 1 foot in the mound.
Just not to tell anybody their job, but I'm wondering, I think you might want to just make sure see if there's anybody in the public that might have any questions. I'm sure nobody does, but I think just procedurally, you need to make sure that nobody has.
I'm watching the room and I see nobody else in attendance.
Nobody waving their hands.
Nobody waving their
right,
hands,
yeah, just
nothing
figured
open in the
least get that.
Q&A.
Get that into the minutes that nobody is, that nobody has any, the public have no comment.
The public, nobody from the public is in attendance.
We'll look it that way.
All those in favor? Sias, yes.
Mills, yes.
Excellent.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So the second variance, I believe, is also Mr. Collins.
Okay, excellent. So the second variance on tonight's agenda is for 25 Kilsyth, requesting a variance which requires a minimum of 10-foot setback from a foundation to a septic tank. Variance approval allowing a reduction from 10 feet to 4 feet.
And Kristen, again, if I think I can do this. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, so again, George Collins, representing Amanda and Mark St. Jean. I did a septic design, I think in 2012 for this property. It's a 5-bedroom septic system. In this location, I did add the septic design data just to have it readily available. Essentially what they would like to do is, basically they're doing it. I think a mother-in-law or father-in-law is moving in, they're trying to do an addition, they want to make it as big as possible. So at this point, we're proposing a 20-foot by 28-foot addition. This addition is going to be on a slab. It's a slab foundation. So originally, we had a 30-foot setback between the septic system and the house. We only need a 10-foot, because it's what we're proposing is a slab foundation. We only need a 10-foot setback between the proposed slab and here. But what it is that in this location, the existing septic tank, to achieve the desired dimensions for the house, we're going to be only 4 feet off the septic tank with the 28-foot wide addition. I think Tim and I had a conversation about what, actually, and Mark, we had a conversation whether we thought a barrier was warranted, but the fact that the septic tank is, it's not a mounted system, the system's relatively flat, and the top of the tank is at or below the slab elevation. So I didn't feel putting in a liner between the tank and the foundation, the slab foundation, was warranted. Obviously, if somebody felt strongly about it, that's something that we can propose or even approve this as with that as a condition. But essentially, they're just trying to maximize the space and And the alternative that he and I discussed, Mark, the applicant, Mark St. Jean, was removing the tank and pushing the tank further over. And I said, before we do that, why don't we go before the Board of Health and see if they would be willing to allow us to just request a variance reducing the distance from the tank to the slab. So basically this is like a local upgrade approval, but in reverse. It's not unusual to request a setback reduction from a tank to an existing structure, but in this case, we're proposing a structure. So it's really doesn't fall within the realm of a local upgrade approval. So it's sort of, we're doing this reverse. So Mark Taylor and I discussed it, and we felt that going the variance route and notifying abutters, that type of thing, was the better way to go, or the appropriate way to go. So basically, is once we get this, presumably if we get this approved by the board tonight, then I would be going to conservation for authorization to build the addition within their jurisdiction. But I felt this is the first step, was to get Board of Health approval or disapproval. Be more than happy to answer any questions anybody may have. And again, we notified the direct abutters, and those proof of notification has been posted on Permanize.
Butters have been notified, you said?
Yes, yeah.
And is the original foundation a variance, or is the original foundation at the 10 feet?
Yeah, no, we meet it's 13 feet to the existing foundation. So so we're just requesting relief to the proposed foundation slab for this particular application.
Have any other questions? I don't see any from the public. Chris, I don't know if you have any questions.
I don't. It's, again, it's another, I may have to go. It's a tough one. There's nothing I don't see the sense of moving the septic tank if it doesn't need to be moved. I think it's unfair for people to, I might have to leave. I'll make a motion to approve. Sorry about the noise. I'm at work.
Seconded. All those in favor, Zias, yes?
Mills, yes.
Thank you very much. Thanks for everybody, and thanks for everything, everybody.
Thank you, George.
Thank you. Have a great night.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
All right, Chris, do you have to go?
I don't think so.
False alarm.
Oh, no, I think the other engine's gonna take it. If you see lights again, then I really have to go.
All right, next item on the agenda is the action discussion portion, and the first being the coronavirus COVID-19 update.
COVID's crazy. The numbers continue to rise. I believe the Commonwealth just posted that they had over 60,000 positive cases recorded in the past 3 days. We continue to do everything that we can do. We are conducting testing. Last week, there was a very large testing clinic. We had almost 300 people that were able to be tested, pretty much held at the state positivity level, right around 10%. We continue to pursue getting the kits, and hopefully we'll be able to continue offering them to the public for free. If any public do end up watching this or on rerun, one of the important things to note, we get a lot of questions about, we are not one of the communities that was given free take-home kits. to distribute to our residents. That was, those kits were distributed to the 102 communities that were viewed as being most impacted, lower income. We were not on that list. The big difference, one of the big differences in our inability to break up what we have and give it to people is that we're receiving 1 vial of reagent in a box with 40 kits. So unlike the ones that you purchase at home where you have the little snap tube and you do your droplets, we're not able to split up a big bottle and send it home to people. But we will continue. We keep asking for these kits, and we keep using them to the best of our ability to get out there and get the community tested when they need to be tested. We also have been able to get vaccine, and we hopefully will be announcing soon. Plans are in the works to conduct a booster clinic. That would be Moderna. That we hopefully will be administering later in the week. Again, just tell everybody to watch the social media, watch the town website for announcements of these events. As always, the registration's on a first come, first served basis. We're trying to do as much as we can to get these resources and these tools, the testing and the boosters out to the public. This past Friday was the second dose for the pediatrics that we had arranged with the state through Brewster Ambulance. I believe Tim and Mark, even with the snow, they were expecting about 150. How close did they come to getting the number that had registered?
Friday, I believe we had 110.
Okay. Which is kind of within the realm of what their normal drop-off had been. With the first doses, they had almost 200 registered and ended up with about 150. I know some people were concerned about not wanting to go out and drive after dark on Friday. But those children can follow up with their primary care physicians. They can follow up with some of the local pharmacies to receive their second dose. Another neat thing we'll be getting up on the website, probably hopefully within the next 24 hours, is the state has just released a way for people to log in and actually get their vaccine code on their phone. It comes with a scannable QR code as well as proof of your vaccinations. Tim and I both tried to do it. Tim had a little bit more success than I did. One of my records is missing. My booster isn't in there, but it wasn't done with the town. So I have to go back to the pharmacy and figure out why it's not showing up. But that's another tool, that people are going to be very happy to have in their phone and in their wallet, the ability to have a QR code and proof of their vaccination. That's it. I was just hoping this surge ends soon. Tim and Mark are doing a great job getting on the phone every day with the cases that are in our workflow, and trying as hard as we can to get information out to people about their timetables. We're also dealing with the shift in what those timetables are, along with different protocols that are being released from different institutions as well. The schools are still operating under some other information. And last week, at the end of the week, EEC, the governing body for childcare, released its protocol that includes other steps, not the same as what we do for the general public, not the same as being done in K through 12. So we're adapting and trying to help disseminate that information to parents, residents, business owners, and make sure that everybody is staying home when they need to stay home, testing when they need to test, and protecting themselves as best they can. I don't know if the board has any questions on any of what we're doing or what we could be doing, or.
I will say, having worked several of the clinics in the past couple of weeks, I think they've been run exceptional by you guys, by our people. It's a really good collaborative within the town. I think we're lucky, those of us that are residents, to have that as a benefit. And I urge people to go. it's very efficient. The way you guys laid out the timing, you're not there forever. Even with the testing clinics, you'll get a phone call if it's not great news. And it's the same with the vaccinations, and it's trying to get people to keep their appointments is probably the big reminder too, because at the end of these clinics, when there's 20 doses left and we're scrambling to find people to give them to so they don't get wasted, but they always get used, which is good. But no, it's been a good job by everyone.
Thank you. It's been a lot of work, but it has totally been a team effort, and we do have it down pretty good. I think we've got a pretty good flow and a pretty good group, and it definitely, I think the community does see it as a great service. The testing is definitely in demand. And as long as we can continue to get kits, we will continue to show up and put these on the calendar.
Great. Excellent. All right, the next item on our agenda is the Swifts Park Steering Committee.
Yep. So in your packet, you have copies of some correspondence explaining what is going on with Swifts Park. Is being a triangular shaped parcel of land to the west side of Pequonnet, and at the point it intersects with Foundry Street. The select board has charged a committee to direct the process for building, supporting, designing, advancing, and monitoring the development of a memorial park honoring first responders and victims of the 1918 influenza pandemic and the COVID pandemic. And they are looking for a representative from the Board of Health, as well as some residents at large to sit on this committee. With our chair not being here, I don't know if you want to table this. I don't know if either one of you has an interest in sitting on this committee.
I'll sit on it if Ari doesn't want to, unless that's a conflict being a first responder. But it's in my neighborhood.
It also looks like firefighters are on there. The fire department's on there, so you could double duty.
I mean, if you guys want to make a motion to nominate Chris to sit on the committee, and then we'll just make sure that there isn't any issue. We can go from there.
Great. I will make a motion for Chris Mills to be on the steering committee for Swifts Park.
Can I second myself?
I know. How does that work?
It's a motion. Yes, you can
Well,
second
this
it.
is awkward. A second.
All those in favor, Zias, yes.
Bills, yes.
Okay, great.
Very good.
And there are no betterment applications. So are there any questions or concerns from anyone in this group or in the public?
I'm not seeing any participants that have joined us, nor are there any questions in the Q&A.
Excellent. Well, then I will make a motion to adjourn the Board of Health meeting for January 10th, 2022 at 5:30 p.m.
Second.
All those in favor, Zeiss, yes.
Mills, yes.
Right. Have a good night, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.